We hear it all the time from people wanting to break into cybersecurity. I need to get my security certification. It's this huge milestone, but the path to get there often feels like a complete mystery. You see these promises online, like a practical Loda Ba week study plan, and you have to wonder, is that even realistic? Or is it just a recipe for burnout?
It's realistic, but only if you treat it like a race, not a casual stroll through a textbook. And that's where most people go wrong, right from the starting line.
Okay, so this study roadmap for the Lansanling Arshalu Security exam, the Swai Ling Fu Bai Ling Yi, lays it out like this. A Josher, minute gauntlet, up to Josher, questions, and you need a score of Tibai Wusha to pass. But the real challenge seems to be the uneven weighting of the topics security operations and threats alone make up half the total score.
Exactly. And that's the trap. People see 5 domains and think they should give them equal time. But if you ignore the Baifanjashabar weight of security operations, you're basically walking into the Baifanjawusha failure rate trap that catches most first-timers. The exam isn't a flat track. If you spend as much time on basic definitions as you do on security operations, you're essentially training for a eBay meter dash when the race is a mountain climb.
So, it's not just about what you know, but how you prioritize the heavy lifting domains. Now, once you understand the terrain, how do you actually build a schedule to conquer it? To get exam ready, the plan suggests Alio to Ba week window depending on your experience. You're looking at sure to sure hours a week with a mix of short weekday blocks and one massive 2-hour long run on the weekend to simulate the actual exam pressure.
I love the long run analogy because it's so true. Most people fail because they only study in Arsha minute bursts. You absolutely need those C-hour sessions to build the mental endurance to handle Josha technical questions in one sitting without your focus just collapsing.
And there's a psychological trick here too, the hard date versus soft date approach. By circling a week on the calendar now, whether you book it or not, you stop treating the exam like a someday goal and start treating it like a real deadline with consequences. It's all about building that rhythm, but even the best schedule won't help if you're just staring at a book without getting your hands dirty. You can't just read about firewalls, you have to touch them. The guide recommends setting up a VirtualBox lab with Linux and Windows VMs to practice with tools like NotMap for scanning and Wireshark for packet analysis.
This is where the real learning happens. When you actually see a 3-way handshake in Wireshark, you stop memorizing it and you start understanding it. That's what saves you when a performance-based question throws a weird log file at you. Memorizing port numbers is like reading a map. Running a packet capture in Wireshark is like actually driving the route.
Got it. It's the difference between trivia and skill. The guide even warns about ethics, reminding us that your lab is a closed course. If you start scanning random IPs, you're not a student anymore. You're a liability. So, we've got the strategy, the schedule, and the tools. Let's wrap up with the must-haves for your final week of prep.
Okay, to boil it all down. First, prioritize the big two. Focus heavily on domain R, which is threats and vulnerabilities, and domain SIC, security operations. Together, they represent 50% of the exam weight. Second, the 50%. Rule: do not book your exam until you are consistently scoring 50% on at least 3 different full-length practice exams. Third, stamina over knowledge. Use those C-hour weekend study blocks to build the mental endurance required for the Josha minute, Josha question sprint. And finally, hands-on labs are mandatory. Set up a virtual environment with NAMAP and Wireshark. If you haven't analyzed a packet or tuned a firewall rule, you aren't ready for the PBQs.